This is called new shoes. Brandon stood behind the starter's line in his sprinter's crouch. He flexed his Achilles and focused on the advertising hoardings. Phil, his trainer, sidled onto the track. Phil made his money from Brandon, his runner, his sprint horse. The fastest kid in the West. That was Brandon's tagline. But Brandon wasn't a kid. Brandon was a dwarf. A very fast dwarf. The sponsors didn't have to know, neither did the crowds who cheered him on like some kind of Olympian prodigy. "I hope you're going to do good today," said Phil, rubbing his belly. "We got some big brands watching. Sports shoes, trendy sports shoes. This could light the fuse. The whole thing could earn us, you, me, cash. Lots of cash. A rash of cash for all the little putt-putts on your feet." He sneered and flicked his cigarette across the starting blocks. It landed on the back of one of the 12-year-old kids, who flitted it off with his hand like a bug bite. "You gotta be fast," Phil continued, a dribble of saliva making a slow path through his stubble and welling just under his chin. "You've got to be very, very fast." Brandon looked up from his sprinter's crouch. "Kick me in the head," he said quietly. "Kick me in the head, and then I will be good." He raised his arms and made a frame for his face with. "Kick me in the head, and then I will be good. Nothing, but nothing, gives me greater pleasure." Phil swung his foot back and began his kick. Brandon watched as the cheap white sports shoe approached his face, and time slowed down into freeze frames. It was an unbranded shoe in an 80s style. The shoe moved closer. The tread was worn, a hollow gap in the heel, a frame closer. Fading plastic stripes, machine sewn onto the side, the closest frame, the shoe's grimy nub a centimetre away. He put his hands up suddenly to grip the shoe as it reached his cheekbone. Enough! He returned the sports shoe, Phil's foot, to the floor. "Remember," said Phil, "fast! The fastest!" Brandon didn't bother to reply and went back to his sprinter's crouch and waited for the starting bell. Bang! He ran fast as he had been told, as fast as he wanted. His stunted limbs kicked backwards and forwards in a rapid ratcheting. He crossed the line in record time. Phil went over to schmooze with the sponsors. Brandon leant over, panting, his hands on his thighs. Someone tapped him on the shoulder. "Excuse me?" Brandon looked up. It was a woman in a business suit with a large foam-tipped microphone. She had a camera crew behind her. "I'm from Local News West," she said, "and I'd like to have a few words about your remarkable sprinting abilities." She turned and nodded at the cameraman. He switched his machine on. It flickered with a red light beside its auto-focusing lens. Brandon came up to the height of the woman's chest, so she had to bend down towards him with her microphone. He saw the beginnings of a brassiere through the V-cut of her jacket. "You've just set a new European record for the under-15s 100 metres. How does that make you feel?" She pointed the large foam microphone at his nose. "Special," said Brandon, expressionless. The reporter tilted the microphone back up to her own face. "To what do you attribute your prodigious success?" She tilted the microphone back. "A good sex life." And tilted his head past the microphone and followed the outline of her bra. She watched the movement of his eyes. "You're very cheeky, a 12-year-old. I'm a fast developer," he whispered over the phone microphone. They finished the interview, and she gave him a telephone number, just in case. He folded the number into his running shorts and sprinted from the track. Phil skipped up to him, shouting, "I've got the deal, I've got the deal. All you've got to do is wear their pretty shoes." But Brandon ignored him, tightened his laces, kicked the clay back, and ran all the way home, through the city streets, alive with scuffed leather brogues, slip-ons, stilettos, sandals, work boots, trainers, clogs, past all these fevered feet till he came to his flat in the centre of town.